Check, sound check, sound check. There you go. This is a sound check, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello Miguel, hello George, hello Annie. Can you hear me right now? And remember, I have a 20 seconds delay on the chat. Please confirm that you can hear my voice and see my screen. This is a sound check. I can hear now, thank you George. So let's start from the beginning. Hello everyone, this is FXPassion broadcasting you live on YouTube. This is Forex Trading Course 101. The course is for the beginner trader and we are talking about the three pillars. Remember, the strategy or the system. The second pillar is the risk management and the third is the psychology part. Also remember that 90% of traders lose money in the Forex market worldwide, and the webinars are not investment or trading advice. The webinars are for the educational purposes only. Either way, don't trade with money you cannot afford to lose. Hello George, hello Miguel, hello Annie, hello Andrea, hello Silas, hello Victor, how are you? That being said, let's dive into the live markets. And I was saying that today's lesson is support resistance in sideways channel in market structure, and some of you send me emails. Oh Passion, why the market structure? Why is this so important? I don't like the sideways movement, sideways channel, yeah, right? Sideways, sideways, sideways. Silas from Brazil, Pedrosa, great. Sideways channel, sideways movement, sideways everything, you know. And why is that important, everyone? Some of you said, oh, I don't even like the sideways sideways movement. Why is this important, right? I have a good news for you. This is the last lesson about the sideways channel, everyone. Why is this important? This is important because in a trade, especially for the traders who are with us for 2, 3, 5 years, in a trade you are going to have your Fibonacci's, right? And you are going to have your counter trendline break, and you are going to see the crown, right? And you are going to have your indicators, the RSI, the MACD, the Ichimoku cloud on your chart, right? And you are going to enter into a trade, right? And you are going to take your profit possibly up in here. This is going to be your take profit, everyone, right? And as a good FXPassion student, you are going to put your stop loss somewhere down here, right? And then what is going to happen? The market is going to go up and then down and up and down and up. And this is the why. For the ones who are sick and tired of the sideways channel, right, of the sideways movement, of the consolidation, and you have sideways movement inside the trend, you have sideways movement on the monthly chart, you have sideways movement on a structure. This is the why. When you are going to enter your trade, this is just an example, and let's say that this is the 2-hour chart, the 4-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, right? Maybe it's the daily, right? And you enter a trade full of good self-esteem, right? And you come, you open your chart the next day and the market still sideways, and you said, okay, it's just one day, right? And then you come back another day, so there are 2 days, and and you are looking at your P&L statement, you are not losing, you are not winning, and you say, well, it's just another day, right? And you come back to the trading platform and you're looking at your pips and money, right? Nothing has changed, not significantly, right? On the on the P&L statement, and this is Wednesday now, and you are getting a little bit stressed, man, and you are doing what? You are starting to mess with the charts, and you are starting to jump to the monthly chart, and you are figuring why this sucker is not moving. Man, did I do anything wrong? Right? What was my analysis wrong? And you come back on Thursday, and this currency pair is still a little bit like this. Oh, maybe it's going to break through, you know, right? And then you come back on Friday, and the market is like this, and you get stressed out, or even better, the market makes just a little bit, just a little 1-2 pips a lower low, and you get stressed out, everyone, and you simply close the trade. And as soon you close the trade, because you didn't learn and you don't understand the different sideways movements. Yes, Miguel and George, I'm going to read your post in just a little bit, just let me finish. Because you didn't learn the sideways movement, because you didn't learn how the market works, as soon as you close out your trade, bam, this is the why. Okay, so for the you can say, oh, I don't like this, is so difficult, I mean, I don't care, you know. You need to learn. Do you want to be a pro, everyone? Let's make a poll. Who in here wants to be or become a professional trader, or maybe professional is not the right word, let's see, consistent trader? What if this is the daily chart, everyone? Are you going just to watch? Right? George, consolidation after strong move always kills me. I expect more action, but the market stays cool. Yes, sir, exactly. Exactly. But I have some students that are sending me emails, you know, oh, Passion, enough of the sideways movement. Look what George is saying. And Miguel is saying, I understand that markets expect 75% of the time in a sideways pattern. Great post. I think the trend is only 15% on average, the rest is sideways. Great post. Silas says yes. Everyone, if you are a beginner trader, remember this. The majority of traders, not just beginners, even professionals, they make a lot of money in an uptrend. They make a lot of money in a downtrend, or pips, or whatever you want. But generally they lose everything, they give it everything back to the market when this market behavior appears. Try to be consistent, yes, great. This is why it seems difficult, you know, oh man, you have sideways channel in an uptrend, you have sideways channel in a structure, and you have sideways channel in a downtrend, and this downtrend is an upside structure, you know. And you said, oh, this is difficult, this is confusing, right? But if you want to make pips and money, if you want to become a pro, or if you want to be consistently profitable, right? I was reading a post today, this morning. I think it was from Marcus, I don't know his surname, Hotkek or something like this, and he was saying in his post, a monkey can do this. A monkey can enter a long trade, and a monkey can enter a short trade. And of course this is just to have fun, right? But the monkey can enter into a trade. How to be consistently profitable is a totally different story. That's why we have Facebook groups, right? And oh, I'm a trader, and you have the Instagram traders, you know, and you have teachers that are going to teach you how to trade on 5 minutes a day on a cell phone. Don't fall on this BS stuff, everyone. Okay? Trading is complex in the beginning, yes, of course. Hello Eddington, no problem. Trading is complex in the beginning, of course, but it gets extremely easy when you get all of this. It's like learning a new language, you know. You need to practice, and you need to practice not just the vocabulary, you need to practice the accent, you need to practice the listening part, the speaking part, the writing part. And when you have enough of practice, then it's easy. You can travel around the world, have fun, make new friends. Trading is not that different, right? Now, what's the problem here? The problem is this one. This one is the problem. It's called greed, right? And some of you are thinking, oh no, this is not me, I'm not greedy. When you want to be a millionaire in 1 year, you are greedy. When you are in a sideways channel and you lose patience, and you are checking the higher time frame, the smaller time frame, looking for wrong analysis, you are greedy. This is the problem, everyone. When you say, oh, I have enough of the sideways channel, and I have enough of my mentor, and I have enough of these charts, guess what? Yeah, it's impatient, okay, but you are greedy, right? Who in here is not greedy? You need to have patience, you need to understand this, okay? So, for the one who sent me emails, oh, Passion, why the sideways movement, why the sideways channel, why? It's complicated, it's complex, you know, that's me. Me too, don't worry, you know. Greed is okay, if you know how to use it, okay? So, this is the why, okay? And everyone, if you are here, I'm not going to say names of the people that send emails, but look what George said, look what Miguel said, okay? Now again, you don't need to trade this, but you need to learn the how and the why and the where, okay everyone? So I'm going to stop with the philosophy part and the psychology part, right? Now let's talk about how to trade support or resistance in sideways channels in market structure. I actually disagree with Passion. Thank you God, someone is disagreeing. It starts out super easy. You find an indicator, you enter, you lose, you enter, you lose, you enter. Oh, that's the easy part, right? But after losing your account and you get more and more, education gets much and more complex until it becomes second nature, but would say it never gets simple. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit different webinar today. Now, because of the emails of some of you that say, oh, this is different, this is difficult stuff. If this is the daily chart in here, what are you going to do? If you don't learn sideways movement and structure, instead of being, because if this is the daily chart, on the 2-hour chart, on the 1-hour chart, swings are going to be like this, right? And instead of you making pips and money, if you want, of course, instead of you going long at support and going short at resistance, again, if this is the daily chart, you are just going to, if you are in a trade, you are going to lose patience, right? You are going to mess with the trade instead of doing this. Oh, but I don't like. No problem. You don't need to trade this, right? But you don't like a sideways channel. Well, the sideways channel on a smaller time frame is going to be an uptrend and a downtrend, right? Let's write this down, everyone. If you're a beginner trader, Let's write this down. Sideways movements that we don't like, right? That we don't like are short-term trends that we like. As a beginner trader, this is the lesson. Sideways movement that we don't like, right? We don't like to see and to watch. Sideways movement that we don't like are short-term trends that we like. Yes, Miguel, I agree too with Eddington. So, if you know how to make money in an uptrend or pips, right? Or at least it gets easier and you like to trade. And if you know how to make money in pips, or just you know how to spot entries, because we are in the beginning phase, right? We are not traders yet according to the course. So you just need to spot. You find a sideways channel. Oh man, a sideways channel again. Oh no. Well, sideways movement are short-term trends, and I need to sideways movements on higher time frames are short-term trends on smaller time frames, not time frames, time frames. So, yes, now it's the moment, right? Now, I didn't know this. Yes, you did. We are telling you this stuff. This is, I think, the 5th webinar when we are talking about the sideways movement. But why is that? Well, you are not listening maybe, right? Maybe you don't like the sideways channel. So what we're going to do today, we're going to check all the daily charts of all currency pairs, and we are going to find this sideways movement, and we are going to try to see this sideways movement like an uptrend, short-term uptrend, and a short-term downtrend. Okay, and just in theory, we are going to draw trend lines and see if you could trade, if you could have traded this. Okay, because as George and Miguel said, sideways movement, I don't know the statistics. Miguel says 75% of the time. I never checked the statistics, but let's say that Miguel is right and the George is right? Okay, so one by one, AUDUSD first, daily chart. Let's compress the chart. Okay, this is the daily chart. And sideways movement in here, or even more, like from here. Right? Now we are not going to talk about today, oh, but you don't know. We learned about the rules of the sideways movement, right? But for the one who don't like, or you are you see the sideways channel and you are changing currency pairs, you could have traded this one, why not? And you could have traded this one, why not? And you could have traded this one, right? And this is AUDUSD from the daily chart. Right, oh, look in here, everyone. Look in here. What is happening in here? Sideways channel. Right now. Okay? And if this is the sideways channel from the daily and you say, oh, I don't like this one, better to be out, right? For the one who are with us for 2 years, 3 years, oh, I have my Fibonacci and everything is pointing down, I have a down structure, oh man, but I see the sideways channel, I'm not going to trade this. Well, let's move from the daily. Why? Sideways movements on higher time frame that we don't like, right? It's risky. Are short-term trends on smaller time frame that we like. We know how to enter inside the trends. So this is the AUDUSD daily chart. Let's go on the 1 hour chart. Let's compress the chart. Now, is this still a sideways movement? Yes, of course it is, but you could be trading this uptrend, this downtrend, this uptrend, this downtrend again, if you want, right? Smaller sideways movement in here, and then again this uptrend. Why not? Why not? And if you are not comfortable, also, but this is the trend, okay, yes, but it's a short-term trend, well, you can go on the 15-minute chart, right? Passion, but you said that 15-minute chart has noise. Yes, but if you don't like the 1-hour chart, you can go on the 15-minute chart. I cannot compress more, but look at these trends, everyone, right? It's always the same uptrend, and you can identify structure and uptrend, right? And then I'm going to delete. Now you have the short-term downtrend, right? Okay, in between you are going to have losers. We said that this is okay, right? But you could trade. You have an uptrend, you have a downtrend, some losers in between, the market's moving sideways, whatever, right? But back again, uptrend here, still moving up, right? Why shouldn't you trade, or why wouldn't you trade? Because this is not sideways channel. I mean, it is, but not is going to wave as a trend, right? Look in here, counter trend line. Counter trend line. It's just an example, everyone. Counter trend line. Counter trend line. So if it's going to continue, right? If it's going to continue, it's going to reverse, and then it's going to make you, it's going to show you multiple opportunities if you want, and we don't have the crystal ball, right? There is no right or wrong. We don't know what the market is. But let's say that it's going to break the trend line. It's going to give you multiple downtrend opportunities. And what is happening when you don't like the sideways movement, the sideways channel, right? You are going to see just this from the daily. Oh man, better to stay out. I lost money on the sideways channel 5 times, right? You need to learn, everyone, how and why this happens, and what is less risky, what is more risky. George is saying actually 3 legs of a sideways channel is better profit than a big trend, which anyway cannot be fully captured. Thank you, George. Thank you, George. If this is you, everyone, that you don't like or you fear, which is normal, don't get me wrong. Okay, you don't need to trade this, but you need to understand the why, because if you don't understand, you are going to mess with your trade, right? You are going to stay in the trade, and then the market is going to break out of the sideways movement, and you are going to close the trade, and as soon as you are going to close your trade, bam, the market is going to give the profits to the patient traders who keep in charge of their greed, you know. Everyone has greed. Okay, if you are, this is not a philosophical and psychological lesson, but everyone has greed. You too, yes, you too. Right. No, me not. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Everyone has greed. It's part of us. As human beings, we are greedy. Just one question: how you will set up the horizontal line? How? Oh, the homework. Did anyone teach anyone during Saturday and Sunday? Victor, would you be so kind and post your question better? Are you talking about this? How will you set up horizontal lines? If you are talking about the wicks, there is no right or wrong. You can have it like this, you can have it like this, you can have it like this, you know. There is no right or wrong, because it doesn't matter. You know the criteria of when the uptrend is going to change, if the market is going to change from the short-term uptrend to the short-term downtrend. Where this line is doesn't matter really, if it's at 0.90442 or 0.9, it doesn't matter, because the market is going to show you when it's ready to reverse. And it says I did not. Okay, so it doesn't matter, right? Could be here, could be here, right? It doesn't matter. Why it doesn't matter? Because the market is here and it's making higher highs, higher lows. Are you going to short the market? No. And the market is making higher highs, higher lows in here. Are you going to short the market? Of course not. Uptrend line break and the market starts to make lower lows, lower highs, right? The market is going to show you on a smaller time frame where if it's going to reverse, it's going to show you. So this really doesn't matter. It's more or less. Okay, Victor, thank you for the great question. So AUDCAD was one. Which one is next? AUDCHF Daily Chart. Let's compress the chart. Daily Chart. Okay, looking here, everyone. What happens if you don't like or you don't want to see the sideways channel? One is here. Okay, now clone. The second one is here, right? And this is AUDCHF Daily Chart, clone. Third one, a little bit more challenging, like in here, right? A smaller one in here, right? It's just an example, everyone. It happens on all time frames, right? So if you don't like and if you don't understand why, when, where, you are or lose money in here, or you are going to stay out. And yeah, not the perfect one, okay. But you, instead of you trading and making pips and money, right? You could be trading this. Oh, but I don't want to. No problem, you don't need to trade if you don't want. But I'm telling you, those sideways movement on the daily are beautiful uptrends and downtrends. On the 1 hour chart, on the 30-minute chart, on the 15-minute chart. Okay? You, of course, right? Spatially it's easier to trade this one, right? And spatially it's easier to trade this one, right? So, but you can trade also those ones on this smaller time frame, right? And what happens as a beginner trader? You are going to enter a trade on the 15-minute chart and you are going to lose, and you are going just say what? Oh, this doesn't work, there is noise of the 15-minute chart, I'm going to stay out, right? Happens all the time. Okay, so you don't need to trade this, but if you are short or long with your Fibonacci somewhere in here and the market is not giving you pips and money, you need to what? We learned about this. Sideways movement is to be expected and is part of the general overall trend, is part of the general overall structure. So If you enter on the daily chart, the 4-hour chart, the 8-hour chart, even 2-hour chart, it's quite normal. It's not uncommon to stay a week, right, inside the trade, 2 weeks inside the trade, a month inside the trade, right? You shouldn't lose patience, anyone. And again, what do? We go on the monthly chart, right? And you are going to look for errors of your own analysis. Maybe I did something wrong, you know. What about the fundamentals? Oh man, I'm long in here, but the market is in a down structure. Maybe this is not going to work, right? Why is that? Because we are impatient. And what happens? Happens all the time. You are closing the trade, and as soon as you are closing the trade, the market finally breaks out of the sideways movement and goes in your way. And you are talking to yourself, I'm a good trader. I'm a good trader, I was right. Yes, maybe you were right, but where is it? Emotionally speaking, right? Maybe you are a good technical trader, but you are a bad emotional trader, everyone. Okay? So when we are talking about consistency, right? Where is it? This one. Here. There you go. When you talk about consistency, right? Oh, I'm a good trader. I was right about the market direction. Yes, but where is your trade? Right? Why did you mess with the trade? Oh, but the market didn't go anywhere. It's a part of the market movement. It's normal. It's like breathing. Yes, but for 2 weeks? Yes, for 2 weeks. It can do for months the same sideways movement if it wants. Oh, but for 2 months, why not? The market can do anything it wants, when it wants, where it wants, right? So yes, maybe you are a good technical trader, but where is the money? You know, we have countless traders over the years, of course, and they can show, right? They can show the statistics. They are very good. They get right 80%, right? 80%. 8 trades out of 10 they are going to enter in the right direction. But, or it could be the downtrend, he or she is going to be right out 8 out of 10. And he or she is going to be right 7 out of 10, 9 out of 10, right? But where is the money? Right? Entry is one. Trade management, which goes with emotional intelligence and risk and everything, is a different story. This is why, and thanks God today is the last lesson about the sideways movement. If you don't understand, the problem is swap. It can be expected. Yes, Miguel, you're right. You need to know what to do. You need to know what you are doing. But as I'm saying, you can go and short and go long on the smaller time frames, right? There is a statistic out there of the top 5 Forex traders. I don't remember the names, but they are not right 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. Some of them are right 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Now, how is possible that you and me, we are right 8 out of 10, right? And we aren't getting anywhere, but the others are right 5 times out of 10 and are millionaires, billionaires. How is this possible? This is the reason. This is one of the reasons, of course. There are many reasons, but one is this. They have emotional intelligence. They are waiting the market, you know. They are maybe trading inside, but they are not messing with their trades. They are waiting for the market to go up or to go down. Some of them are trading inside in here. Okay, so entries, everyone, if you're a beginner trader, entries are just one part of long-term, consistent, profitable trading. It is a big part, but still it's just one part. You need to have trade management, you need to understand stop loss, you need to understand take profit, you need to understand the money management rules, and the big one, you need to understand yourself as a trader. You know, you should have a checklist, of course. The checklist for entries, checklist if you are going to mess with the trade. You need to have a checklist for the exits, because if you think that you are rational, we are not rational at all. We think that we are rational. Oh, I'm entering because the Stohastic and MACD and structure and the trend, right? But as soon as you enter, emotions come over, right? Passion, how do I check my emotions? Well, this is the $1 trillion zillion question. I don't know, I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. I don't know which one has its own style. I don't know. Everyone, I have this question on other streaming platform, if you would be so kind, and what do you think? Eddington, do you have any suggestions? Any? Victor? George? Miguel? How do we check our emotions in trading? What would you say? I mean, in a general way, right? I have one rule, everyone. Let's write this down. When you have more reasons to enter into a trade than not to enter a trade, and you did enter, don't mess with the trade. This could be a one. Okay, when you have more reasons to enter into a trade than not to enter into a trade, and you did enter, don't mess with the trade. Take not too much risk. Yes. Thank you, Annie. But how can you check your emotions? Could be a checklist, could be a trade journal, everyone. Could be a boss, could be your friend that is checking upon you. Next, we are losing time. Yes, sir. AUDJPY Daily Chart. Let's move on the other one. So we have on AUD-CAD sideways movement, AUD-CHF sideways movement, AUD-JPY. Looking here, sideways channel, sideways channel. Daily chart, right? So looking here, sideways channel, daily chart, sideways channel. You could be profiting, making pips and money, trading short-term trends. One more, not the perfect one, a little bit more difficult, sideways channel, sideways movement, sideways movement, sideways channel, right? And in between, also in here, sideways movement, sideways channel, also in between. This is AUD-JPY Daily Chart. Sideways movement, we are out, but still we had it. Sideways movement, sideways channel, with a false breakout. Next, AUD-JPY, AUD-NZD. Daily chart, let's compress the chart. Short term, right? Sideways channel, sideways channel in here, went up, broke the channel, went back down, sideways movement, short term, sideways movement, short term, right? Sideways movement in here again, sideways, sideways. I'm not telling you to trade everything and anything, right? But you have here an example of short-term sideways movements, right? AUDUSD, and you have long-term sideways movement because this is the daily chart. On AUDJPY, it went from February to the almost end of April. 3 months of sideways movement on AUDJPY daily chart. Why wouldn't you trade and make pips and money 3 months on AUDJPY? Right? Why wouldn't you? Oh, because it's a sideways channel. Yes, but go on this smaller time frame and short the downtrend and go long on the uptrend. You know how to trade the trends, right? Or you are going to choose, well, I'm going to stay out, which is okay, no problem. You don't need to trade what you are not comfortable with, okay? But still, you need to understand why and where, okay? And when it breaks out of trend and breaks out of the structure, not to buy in here. We cannot know when the structure is in sideways until too late, so are you saying to enter all trends independently of structure? No, sir. But I told you, George, that this lesson of today is not where to enter, where not to enter. I'm just showing to the traders who said that sideways channel is difficult. Some of them hate sideways movement, right? That the sideways channel is made out of short-term trends and short-term downtrends, short-term uptrends. We cannot know when the structure is in sideways. Not true this one also. On the smaller time frame, you know where structure is sideways. Everybody, every time frame and every currency pair, also the 15-minute time frame, the 1 hour time frame is going to have its structure and its trends, okay? Now, if the red one is structure on the 15-minute chart, and George says, oh, you cannot know, we don't know, right? We don't know where structure is sideways. Well, this is not true, my friend. You are going to have these 2 or these 4, right? Okay, and this is going to be the blue one. Now you have a confirmed structure, right? And we learned about this. You need minimum 2 times the high and the low, right? And you go on AUDJPY, okay? And you go from the daily to the 2-hour chart. I don't know if I can compress the chart, right? Okay. You have smaller structure, right? You have bigger structure. There you go. One more. Where is it? There you go. Right? Can you see the structure, George, of the sideways channel? Right? 1, 2, smaller one, a bigger one inside the smaller one. Right? You have a smaller structure, you have a smaller sideways movement, and you have a bigger sideways movement. And if you want to micromanage this one, you have an even smaller sideways movement, and it's here. Right? So you have different sideways movement. This is one if you want. You have a bigger one if you want. It's this one. And you have the big one. It's here. Yes, but when we see this, the sideways over. Not necessarily. No, sir. No. Who told you this, George? Who told you this, that is going to happen just 1 or 2 times? No, sir. Look in here. This is the market showing you. No, George. No, not true. Right? Not true. Why would be over? Right? Not true. Everyone who told you that sideways movement is just this? Not necessarily. We don't know. We don't have the crystal ball, right? It's not just this. Sometimes it's going to be 2. Sometimes it's going to be something like this, you know. It's going to be 4. Why is that? It happens on all time frames, all currency pairs. Sometimes then it's going to continue, you know, something like this. Okay, who told that it's going to end just with 2 or 4 or 6? Right? There is no rule, everyone. AUDUSD. One great example of this is Euro GBP, I think. Euro GBP Daily Chart. Let's compress the chart. Okay, it's just an example, everyone. Right, sideways movement. 1, 2. There you go. George, can you see this, George? Great question, George. Everyone keep asking questions. This is where and when you learn. When you say passion, I don't believe you. When you say passion, I don't agree with you. This is where you learn. Right? George, Euro GBP Daily Chart. Would you agree that we could confirm the sideways movement? It's just an example. And if we could confirm the sideways movement, could we have traded these two 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 with the uptrend and with the downtrend? Could we have traded this one? We confirmed the sideways movement with the yellow, right? We had the false breakout here. We had the false breakout here, right? So we didn't know that the market is sideways on the daily chart until 1, 2, 3, 4, the yellow line. But from now on, we could have traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 if you want, 6 times. We had 6 trends on the smaller scale. Uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. Tell me, George, yes or no? I'm telling you, this is not true when we see the sideways movement, because there are no rules for how long the market is going to stay sideways. But this is a great example where and when you could have identified the sideways movement, and if you want, of course, start trading in here. Do we agree, George, or you don't agree? You have other questions? We have 4 more minutes, everyone, if you have some question. No, okay. Next, AUDUSD. AUDUSD, let's see, daily chart. AUDUSD. Daily chart. Looking here, it's a mess, but still okay. Sideways movement. Sideways movement in here. Sideways movement in here. Sideways movement in here. Not the perfect one, a little bit challenging. Right? Shorter sideways movement in here. Shorter sideways movement in here. Okay? Now, everyone, we have 3 more minutes. How you should think it goes to plan your trade. Okay? And George is not wrong, everyone. George is not wrong, but when you see this, right? When you see this inside the structure or inside the trend or inside your Fibonacci for the one who are with us for 2 years, 3 years, 1 year. When you see this, you need to plan your trade. You need to play chess with the market. So you are going to say, well, if I'm seeing this, 3 things can happen. 1, the market is going to continue to go sideways. 2, the market is going to break and continue the uptrend. Or 3, the market is going to go sideways and continue the downtrend. Okay? So George is not wrong. When you see this, the confirmation, then you need to address the trade. Right? Maybe it's going to continue. So we are going to long, short if you want. Maybe it's going to break out of the, and it's going to continue the uptrend. Right? You need to plan all of this. Why is that? Because of the stop loss, the take profit. If it's going to reverse in here, you need to cancel or take profit up. You need to reverse your positions. Right? Or it's going to go down. I think another point is also that it's easier to trade a trend rather than a range. Yes, it is, Miguel. Of course, yes, it is. But as I'm saying, you have short-term trends inside this sideways movement that we don't like. Okay, everyone, I hope you learned about the different ways to look at sideways movement, sideways channel. I think that this is the last lesson of the sideways movement. If you didn't learn, you are going to have difficulties and problems. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm honest. In my experience, of course, you are going to have difficult times being a consistently profitable trader. Enter only the trends in the same direction as the main trend, expecting that it will continue. No, sir. Expect also the sideways movement, everyone. Sideways movement are expected, and as a beginner trader you need to expect this one. And when it happens, don't get freaked out and lose patience. You need to be prepared to sustain this. Yes, George, if you're in consolidation, you should only trade in the direction of the overall trend. Yes, this is about the entries. Okay, everyone, Rakesh is coming next. See you tomorrow. Stay strong and trade with passion. This is FXPassion signing off.